Welcome everyone. Today we have one of the fastest speed running pit experience build, and you'll be earning so much XP using this fast build. So let me show you how fast we clear this. Let's go back a little bit, you might not have seen it. So we cleared this one in under 54 seconds. Yes, the boss got one shot instantly. So what is special about my build and what have I changed in the previous build? And yes, I've been doing this. I'll show you guys this on the next part. So I have been combining my 5 times damage build together with the max roll build with combinations of some very interesting items, and I can run pit 70 in about 54 seconds. Well, pit 69, pit 70, 54, 55 seconds. And I can run pit 75 in 65 seconds, pit 80 in about 75 seconds. That's my speed for those particular runs. And I do have a number of runs I can show you guys. Pit 75 and it's pit 74. I've been testing a lot of different runs with different speed using this build, and it is amazing. Now, not only have I tested a lot of runs, I have tested using a number of different items, using max resolve stacking, using different items, mythical, unique, legendaries, different aspects, different combinations. So notice here I'm hitting about, so initially with my first setup, I'll be hitting around 10 million. And then I test different gears, I start to hit over 100 million. And by the end of the testing, I hit close to 20 million with one of the biggest crits. And this is something that is amazing using the latest build for the maximum speed and also highest damage to speed run any of the pit for the highest XP earning for this particular season. Now, if you haven't seen our previous video, definitely have a look. We have the fastest way to Paragon level 300 now, and players have reached Paragon level 300. So definitely recommended to go to the previous video to have a look at this. So currently with my speed with 54 seconds, or let's say 55 seconds, I was earning 172,000 experience per second as I run using this build. And before I made the Excel calculation to show you guys which is the best pit for you, now what I wanted to do is to share this build to show you how to build for the fastest speedrunning build from XP for the pit for under 1 minute clears for pit 70 or even 75 if your gear is good enough. So briefly going through the items of choice over here, I will be updating the builder's guide for you in the links below. The Hair of Perdition is actually a great damage dealing item for this particular speedrun. You gain 60% damage multiplier, a ton of critical chance together with movement speed and also bonus damage to angels and demons, which is not a lot. And here my next unique is gonna be the Septic Wand, of course. This, if you max roll the dexterity, gives you tons of more dex and massive damage boost for infinite dash. We will be using Ragnaros Wake for additional resistance, very important for this build because we're not using Tyros Might. And this also gives you tons of more damage with non-physical damage with non-physical damage bonus. The cooldown is actually not that important. Now here we'll be stacking maximum resolve on the chest, on the pants, together with the amulet stacking armor, additional skill rank, and also maximum resolve. Maximum resolve is converted into additional block chance, and then this is converted into additional critical damage. So if I show you some of my stats at the end of the dungeon, it is close to 100% critical chance, over 6,000 critical damage, which is not going to be the highest of course, but this does help me stack up a little bit. I am also stacking a lot of armor for additional gorilla weapon damage, which after testing, I think this still works. So correct me if I'm wrong guys. I did try this with the 13% multiplier when standing still from the max roll, but I think this actually does more damage after some testing. But I could be wrong, so let me know. But I think having so much armor, this actually benefits me a lot. And this together with getting additional elemental damage, and also over here this provides me with more damage while having a barrier. Now what I'm running with my Spirit Heart is actually Ego plus Gorilla for maximum resolve stacks and also permanent unstoppable. You can run Ego for additional critical chance, but we're already close to 100% critical chance, so we don't really need that. Now briefly going through my skills and also paragons. They're not fully optimized, but it already works. One of the skill points is allocated into Soar to just jump between cliffs and also edges. We don't need much survivability because everything melts in seconds, so we'll be one-shotting enemies over here with a 5% chance. And most of the skill trees are very straightforward, and you'll be doing tons of damage just with any skill that is correctly input. And over here we'll be prioritizing on damage while having yourself some damage reduction, having maximum resolve stack. Now in terms of the choice of the Paragon and also Glyph, I'm going with Spirit, Talon, Jagged Plume, and over here Fulminate together with Colossal that stacks resolve damage. Now why do I think this build is faster than most of the other builds is that it does more damage. So over here I have tried and also tested a lot of different gears using mythical unique, using legendaries, using different aspects, and it does seem like at the end of the day this particular setup was giving me the highest damage, the fastest speed clear, and this was incredibly good with pretty much any of the gears you slap on. Of course, you don't have to masterwork as lucky as I do for some of those gears, and you can see some of my other gears did not even roll correctly, because this maximum resolve roll pens was coming from my, my Crow Volley build. So this one could have been dexterity. So this means there's so much more potential for this build to deal even high damage using those combination of mythical unique items and also the other legendary aspects. Now again guys, I'm in the progress of updating this build for the speed run for this particular builder's guide, and I'll have the update version for you guys very soon. And before I finish, just a quick tips on the spells and also casting. You want to be casting Evade as fast as you can, and here you do have one skill that is reserved. I purposely have Soar or Leap on the first hotkey, so if ever needed, if I get stuck in a zone or over the cliff, I can jump over the cliff, and this will save you a lot of time. So notice I'm not using Soar unless I need to jump over cliffs or unless I need to go over buildings. So this build has mobility, survivability, and also a lot of damage for doing the speed runs like this for under 60 seconds for the highest experience. Now usually I provide you guys with a replay of the test runs, but I have tested run a lot of times with 70, 80, 69, but I think most of you will want to see the fastest run, right? So I have the fastest run in under 1 minute as a replay demonstration to show you guys the full run, and you can see the map I found is not even the perfect map. Sometimes there's even better maps for even quicker runs. And sometimes you can skip those shines because you don't really need to waste your time on those shines. And I have stopped looting for any legendaries that is not a great FX. And you can also see the stats of my gears at the end of the replay for this particular build. And of course guys, those gears are not perfect. I found those gears in my previous build and I could have rolled them a little better, but this already works wonderfully well.